All right, so this is the Villiger limited release number 039. Gorgeous looking stick, right? Looks really good. The bands are gorgeous. The seams are tiny. The veins are capillary. I mean, from all outside expectations, this looks like it's going to be a good smoking experience. As a cigar smoker, that's all I need to know. I mean, yeah, it's kind of nice to know what the blend is and da 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 da. Just because I can say, well, I like Mexican San Andreas and it's got Mexican San Andreas wrapper, I'm probably gonna like it or kind of whet my appetite for it. But for the longest time, you didn't know what you were smoking other than just long filler tobacco from the company that you're getting it from. I mean, they didn't go into all the details and the proof in the pudding and the blend and everything else. And so, as a cigar smoker, all right, as a cigar reviewer, it can be kind of frustrating because I'm sitting there smoking a cigar with you, and you want me to say something more than just or I mean, you want to get in a little bit of the deets. At least I do. I'm a little cigar nerd. I like all that stuff. But in all reality, it's more important how it tastes. That's true. But I did my due diligence. I looked everywhere trying to find this cigar and to find out what the blend was and information about it. I even looked at some other people's websites. Cigar Craig is amazing. Cigar Craig had the same problem. He goes, look, I can find the number 22 or the number this and that and all this and do, but I just couldn't find no information. He said, I was kind of sad that I don't know much about it, and I don't know how I'm going to get more of it because I really liked it. That was Cigar Craig. A fantastic pillar of the cigar lifestyle community. He's been in it since hardly there when there was dial up. I mean, Cigar Craig is awesome. Neat guy to meet. I met him one time. Fantastic. Most humble and knowledgeable fella. Really, really cool guy. But I like to be informed before I do a review. I don't do flavor notes. I don't go look at people's flavor descriptions because I don't want to taint my palate. I want it to be what I taste. And all that. But it's kind of nice to say the bond of the filler of the wrapper. Maybe find out some interesting things that the factory it comes from, or something special about a different tobacco. It's kind of interesting for me, and I think it's interesting for you. Maybe. So I don't do blind reviews. I don't. I don't pull the band and this and that. It's just not my lane. I like people who do it. It's just not for me. So this is pretty much a blind review. But I got to tell you, I'm that far in, and I'm digging it. It's got that Villiger blend quality. You get 10 master blenders in a room with the same weights and same amounts of tobaccos, and they all roll it together. You're going to have possibly 10 different expressions of that same exact cigar because of the way you lay your tobacco together, you bunch your tobacco, whether you put your tips in or where you move your tips, the little pieces you tear off of the leaves, and whether you omit some of those or you add some in different spots. It changes the way it transitions, or if it doesn't transition, or it just adds a little bit to it. And from my experience with the Villiger line, the construction is going to be spot on. I've never had a burn problem. I've never had a draw problem. Now, I haven't smoked 1,000. Hopefully, I'll be able to say I have one day, but I haven't. But my limited experience leads me to believe that quality control is on point. Let's talk about their blend. Their blending style, to me, is very European. What do I mean by that? Well, in a European blend, by my definition, is a blend where the flavors kind of blend together and meld together like watercolor. Wow, what a stretch. Pastels, where you put the chalk on, you put the color next to it, and then you just kind of rub between the two, and those colors kind of blend one into the other. It is not a sharp, this flavor, that flavor, that flavor, that flavor. It's more of a nuanced experience, a blended experience, and this lends to that blending experience. So let's talk about the flavors I'm getting in this blended experience. First thing I'm grabbing a hold of is it's very luxuriously creamy. It's a thick, creamy experience. The flavors are darker than that. It's not like I'm tasting a Connecticut shade where it's real light and creamy. It has a depth to it, but the flavor just kind of cascades over your tongue. Man, I'm using big words today. You know, I'm trying to think really hard because I can't lean on the crutch of knowing what the blend is. But it does. It has a creaminess to it. No pepper, so as to speak. No minerality, no turn to earth up to this point because we're only half inch in. But there is a leather quality. There is a golden raisin quality, that sweetness. Usually when you get leathers, you can, some people say leather, some people say raisins, some people will say golden raisins if it's a little bit on the sweeter side. The tobacco's got a sweetness to it. It does. Not sweet like infused, but sweet like just sweetness, like a good steak. If you have a real good steak and you take that nice meaty pink bite in the middle, and it just has a sweet quality to it. And this has that, a substantiability, a beefiness. It is a full flavor. It hits a, I'm looking at it like it's going to tell me. It hits one spectrum of flavors. It's not a little bit of light and bright. It's not a little tinny. It's not a little, you know, black cocoa chocolate espresso. It really rides in that meaty, leathery, with a creamy quality of the flavor just blending together. I'm really impressed by it. Now, even if that's not your flavor profile, I think if you got one, where, I don't know, how, I don't know, what the blend is, I don't know. But if you got one and that's not even your regular flavor profile, I think you would appreciate the fact that the flavors are blended together like an orchestra. It is. The notes of the tastes that I'm getting really really don't start and stop. They just kind of blend together like a chord of deliciousness. So I'm going to be selfish. I'm going to end this review and sit back and just smoke this thing because I don't know if I'm going to get another one, and I want to enjoy it. I really do. And if it transitions, if it does something crazy as I get back, because I'm going to smoke it back past the bands, I'm going to smoke it to the finger burning zone, I believe, just so I can experience it all the way through. But if something pops up, if something is different, I'll come back on. But if not, let me tell you some things that I need you to know. You deserve a break. You deserve a moment of peace. You do. If you don't take your time for yourself, somebody else will take it. It will get filled up. There will always be something to do. Don't be lazy, but don't be so driven that you can't remember why you're doing what you're doing in the first place. If cigar smoking is the thing that gives you that moment of peace and pause, that fellowship, that coming together, that sitting alone with yourself, which is great company because you're awesome. Take those moments. Fill them with great smoky happiness and joy or peace. Right? The world needs you. They do, because you're valuable. You're the best you that anybody could ever be, and the world needs you, so please stay around as long as you can. And know this, I am glad that you're here. I appreciate you taking the time to spend with me. And I love you. I really do. So, I don't know where you get it, But if you can, I think you ought to. I really, really do. It tastes better than it looks, and it looks pretty dadgum good, right? So I'm going to go. I'll see you later. Later, Tater.